Hello students, welcome to electronics class. In the last class we have studied capacitance of the capacitor and how it is depending on the area of plates and distance between the plates. Now we study between the two conductive plates of the capacitor there is a insulating material that is known as dielectric. Dielectric medium indicates the ability of an insulator to concentrate electric flux. So, in dielectric material there will be polar molecules. These polar molecules will be before the application of electric field. These polar molecules, in the sense positive and negative charges, will be there. Before the application of electric field, they will be arranged oriented in a random manner. In this picture you can see these are arranged in a linear manner, whereas before the application of electric field these polar molecules will be arranged in a oriented in a randomly. But whenever a voltage electric field is applied, what happens? The capacitor will be charged. That means after charging the capacitor, what happens? One side of the plate will be charged by positive charges and the another side of the plates will be accumulated with the negative charges. So, once the capacitor is charged, one side of the plate is positively charged, another side of the plate is negatively charged, and there is a development of electric field between the plates. So, after applying the voltage, these polar molecules which were randomly oriented, they will become arranged in this form. See, negative charges, these polar molecules are fixed. They cannot move, they cannot detach. So what happens? So that is why in insulator what happens? Why it is insulator? There is no free electrons available. So no conduction. So they cannot be detached from the nucleus. But again there is a attraction between the unlike charges. So what happens? These polar molecules, negative charges are arranged this side, positively charged plate towards the positively charged plate, and positive charges are arranged towards the negatively charged plate. So what happens? This polarization, because of this polarization of polar molecules, what happens? The electric field is induced inside the dielectric medium. There exists a dielectric field inside the dielectric medium. This electric field opposes the electric field developed across the plates. Usually the electric field due to the polarization of the polar molecules will be less than the external electric field, but still it opposes the external electric field, which in turn increases the capacitance of the capacitors. That is, capacitance of the capacitor is increasing in the sense you can store more number of electric charges. So this is the role of dielectric. So dielectric medium will be having different permittivity for different dielectric materials. Those are, if you use paper, bakelite, porcelain, there are so many insulators name is given, and dielectric constant for each insulator is also given. So depending on the dielectric constant, the value of that, polar molecules will be developed and they will be polarized, and electric field will be, internal electric field will be developed. So which opposes the external electric field, which in turn increases the capacitance of the capacitor. Next is energy stored inside in the capacitor. A capacitor C can be charged by connecting a battery of V volts. Whenever a capacitor charging, I have already explained, if you want to store electric charges on the plates of the capacitor, you will apply a voltage V. Capacitor gets charged with Q coulomb of charge. The energy stored in a larger capacitor is measured by the amount of work done in charging the capacitor to a given potential. If V is the voltage across the capacitor, C is the capacitance of the capacitor, then energy stored is equal to E is equal to half CV square. Okay, I guess this is visible to you. Yes, it is. Energy stored in the capacitor is equal to half CV square, where C is the capacitance of the capacitor, V is the voltage across the capacitor. There is no derivation, only direct formula is given. This is very important formula, where problems will be asked on this formula. What is the energy stored in the capacitor having the capacitance this much, when voltage across the capacitor is this much? Calculate the energy stored in the capacitor will be the question. So we will also solve the problems on that. Classification for capacitor will postpone it. Just a minute. Now we will look into there are different types of capacitors that will be in the next class. Now combination of capacitors. Combination of capacitors. In a circuit, capacitors are connected in series or parallel. See, when we want to get desired value of capacitors, what we will do? We will combine the capacitor. Whenever we study resistor combination, in that we want to get a desired value of resistance, in the sense we will combine the resistors and connect it in the circuit. In the same way, we will do combination of capacitors to get the desired value of capacitance. So first we will go through capacitors in series. Write down the circuit. We'll have 3 capacitors. So if C1, C2, C3 if C1, C2, C3 are the capacitances of 3 capacitors connected in connected in series, C1, C2, C3 are the capacitance of the 3 capacitors connected in series. Then if V is here the capacitors are connected in series, therefore the current will be same. In resistor, any series combination, the same current flows. Current in the same charges will be flowing. So Q is the same charge, same amount of charge on each capacitor. Q is the charge on each capacitor, and V is the voltage. Voltage divided. So V is the voltage applied across the circuit. Voltage applied across the circuit, which is divided as V1 is for C1. V1 is V1, V2, V3 are the 3 voltages across capacitors C1, C2, C3 respectively. So what happens? We know that Q is equal to CV V1, then V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. This is according to KVL. If I apply KVL to the circuit, V is equal to V1, V2, V3. All this as equation 1. So, I draw equivalent circuit which is having the same only one capacitance of charge Q and voltage, the same voltage V of the capacitance Cs. This combination of C1, C2, C3 is replaced by a single capacitor Cs with the same voltage P. So voltage is same amount of charges same amount of charges flowing. So what happened? V1 is equal to, we know that Q is equal to CV, that we know, right? So V is equal to Q by C. V1 is equal to Q by C1. V2 is equal to Q by C2 and V3 is equal to Q by C3. So this equation becomes V is equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2 plus Q by C3. So for the second circuit, the first circuit, if the capacitors C1, C2 and C3 are replaced by effective capacitance or equivalent capacitance capacitor Cs, capacitor of capacitance Cs, then Q is equal to Cs V. So V is equal to Q by Cs. So what happens to the equation 2? So equation 2 becomes Q by Cs is equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2 plus Q by C3. So if you take Q common, can be written as 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. So what you can do, the reciprocal of the effective capacitance of capacitors connected in series is equal to sum of the reciprocals of individual capacitances. This derivation will be asked in the examination. So we have to write the circuit and explanation of the circuit and the derivation should be done. Then only you will get 5 marks. Next, we will study capacitors in parallel. Write down the circuit. 3 capacitors. C1, C2, C3 are connected in parallel along with the voltage source V. Because it is a parallel circuit, the voltage remains same. The equivalent circuit of capacitor, equivalent capacitor Cp is connected across the same voltage C1, C2, C3 are the capacitance of three capacitors connected in parallel. Voltage V remains same. Same across the three capacitors. Across three capacitors. And charge flowing in this part will be divided into charge Q is divided into Q1, Q2 and Q3 across among three capacitors. Charge will be different because it's a parallel combination. The same charge will not be flowing the same path. There are different paths, so different amount of charges will be stored on each capacitor. The voltage remains same because it's a parallel circuit. So Q is equal to what happens? Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Here same amount of charge will be remaining and that will be divided among the parallel parts Q1, Q2, Q3. All this as equation 1. So Q1 is equal to C1V because voltage is same. Q2 is equal to C2V and Q3 is equal to C3V. So Q is equal to C1V plus C2V plus C3V. Q is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. Equation 2. And these three capacitors which are connected in parallel are replaced by a equivalent capacitance or effective capacitor. Three capacitors connected in parallel are these capacitors are replaced by an effective capacitance Cp. Then with the same voltage V, then Q is equal to CPV. Then equation 2 becomes CPV is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 into V. Therefore, Cp is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. So, the capacitors connected in parallel, the capacitances, the effective capacitance of the three capacitors connected in parallel are the effective capacitance of the capacitors connected in parallel is equal to sum of the capacitances of the capacitors. Okay. So there will be problems asked on this series and parallel combination of capacitors that we will cover in the next class, and also energy stored in the capacitors, and one more thing, Q is equal to CV. On that formula we will be having problems. In the next session we will be having problems on those, and also we have left with the types of capacitors will also cover that after the problem session. Okay. Any doubts on this, please text me. Thank you.